Well, good morning from Homs in Syria. This is my third day in the country, and we're going to be exploring a bit of the city here today that was very, very badly destroyed during the Civil War. You can see some of the buildings behind me here are completely destroyed. It's hard to see in the video, but we will take a look. But first, we're going to a mosque that was actually restored. So this was a mosque that was badly destroyed as well during the war, and then the president of Chechnya sent some money for them to rebuild this place. So let's go in and check it out on my third day here in Syria. So the first thing we obviously got to do entering the mosque, take off the shoes. So we go like this, and we can bring them down here. Maybe I'll set them right here. And head into the mosque here. Salam. And so what is this?
This is Khalid al-Walid tomb, which is a very famous Islamic reader and one of the first people who support Prophet Muhammad. The story says when he go into a battle, people freak out and escape even the nights when they see him. He was a very strong fighter. And here we have his son.
So the tomb of a strong supporter of the Prophet Muhammad right behind us here. And so this also is a restoration?
Yes, everything, because it get affected.
The whole
during the
place
war.
was destroyed.
So the president of Chechnya fund this project.
Now behind me is the tomb of the son of the second Khalifa, Omar, an important Islamic figure. And what was very interesting is during the times of ISIS, they actually wanted to destroy these tombs because they believed that sort of these Muslim leaders of the past shouldn't have marble tombs around them, should be very simple graves, shouldn't be something that is particularly remembered. And so around the country, they would have destroyed all the tombs and their housing. And this one was not destroyed, but that's what they did. Many different places across the country that they reached. So now you can see the mosque behind me, and I'm actually walking towards where some of the destruction is, some of this destroyed area. So the area I am in, you can even see some of these buildings behind me. The area I am in Homs is where a lot of the initial protesting of the government started. And so they were here protesting the government for basic freedoms. So political speech, economic freedoms. You know, the economy wasn't going as well, of course. And this was all part of the Arab Spring, the broader context of that. And so these people were protesting against their government. As you know, Syria had been ruled by military dictators, Bashar al-Assad at the time, and then his father before that for many, many years. And so there was that uprising of protest against that government, and they were doing it here. And during that time, the Assad government was putting down the protests. They were firing on the protesters, killing people. And eventually, after several months of this back and forth, they decided to start defending themselves, as you know, would make sense if you were continually shot at. And when that happened in this area, this is where a lot of the resistance was. That is where the government changed tactics. Rather than shooting at protesters, they brought tanks, they brought airstrikes, they brought bombardments, and you can really see that behind me here. So if you look, you see just destroyed areas of buildings here, turned into rubble. And unfortunately, that is the story of a lot of the Syrian civil war. So these buildings, I mean, you can, we'll come over here, you can see a lot of bullet holes in the wall. So, I mean, see here, yeah, these are bullet holes, but just destroyed. This probably would have been a shop on the ground level behind me. And yeah, it's not a lot of people living here, but there are some people walking around. So most Syrians left the country during the civil war. The population is essentially half of what it is now. A lot of people died, but actually most left, immigrated to other countries, and the people who had enough money to get out are out. The people who didn't are still here. And so most of these buildings you see are like totally destroyed, but every once in a while you'll see, you know, some laundry hanging off a balcony. So one apartment, I guess, is still functioning or still usable, and that's where the people who couldn't afford to get out are still living here. But you know, it's not dangerous anymore. Right now it's, you know, in this area it's peaceful. Of course, the economy is not great. There's a lot of reasons you wouldn't want to live in Syria, but you know, for the people living here, it's not necessarily unsafe. Yeah, you see it right up here. So you see some laundry hanging on the roof up here, and so that's where somebody is staying amongst, you know, total destruction. So yeah, it's really pretty intense. Coming up, looks like in a few minutes, just like a big pile of rubble. I'll show you that. But yeah, it's interesting. You see the destruction, but then there's like a guy on a bike coming along here. So people are still living here. It's really interesting to see. So you can see the pile of rubble behind me here. So you see these large buildings, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 stories over here as well. And then here, just a complete pile of rubble. So this one would have been totally destroyed. But the rest of these are abandoned. All the windows blown out. There's nothing inside. But yeah, every so often you see something with laundry up here. There's like a small shop I'm gonna pass by in a second. Let's see. Got like a small shop in here, furniture store. So some people are still using the area with their businesses, and then, you know, above them are totally destroyed apartments. Just depends on where the bomb dropped. But yeah, another location here. You can see just ruins, destroyed cars. Yeah, even here, the shell of a car. So I'm gonna enter into one of the buildings now. Coming up the stairs here. And I mean, you can just see out here, wow. So yeah, walking up. Big holes in the wall. and then it goes all the way to the roof. And so that's where we're gonna come up and try and get a view of the area around here. But yeah, you see some water tanks, so some people are living down in there. I even see some smoke coming out of a chimney. So it's kind of destroyed on one hand and people living here on the other. But wow, this is the view. See some of these buildings across the way. Even over there, wow. I think what's interesting is, even considering all of the destruction, there's still a lot of people around here. Cars driving around. I've been to some other places like this, and you don't see that. And so it's the true unfortunateness of the situation is that, yeah, you have people still living here, and this is their best option. And even people from other cities in Syria, like Palmyra, that were really destroyed by ISIS, came to live here because you can rent an apartment here for a few dollars a month, because, you know, it's basically all abandoned. And so if one's still working, you can rent it, and it's significantly cheaper, even though you're living in this totally bombed out area. So when you put it into context, I mean, think about, we're in here. This room, this would have been somebody's home, somebody's living room. And now they're living in Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, the US, Germany. And so when you meet these Syrian refugees, like, you know, come back to this. I wouldn't want to come back to this. You don't have a home. This, like this, you know, if this was your home, what is there to do here? So if you think before the war, many of the Syrians living here would have been doing well. Most Syrians owned their own homes, like 80% or something, prior to the war. And so they would have owned apartments like this, been living with their family, apartment destroyed. Even if you weren't protesting the government, you just lived here, apartment destroyed. So, okay, maybe you'll go live with your parents. Nope, their place is destroyed. Your friend? Nope, their place is destroyed. And you think, well, okay, they were doing well, maybe they had some money saved in the bank. Well, inflation. You saw in my earlier video, you know, a hotel room was like 3,000 Syrian lira prior to the war. Now 3,000 Syrian lira is like 33 cents. You can buy like a candy with that. And so the absolute destruction is really, it's hard to comprehend when you're sitting at home, but when you actually come and see it, it's very, very intense. Say hello.
Hello, Sarah.
Ahlan wa sahlan. Nice to meet you both. Yeah, I'll see you.
Oh, Cristiano. I love you, Cristiano.
Ronaldo Cristiano?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Very good.
Or Messi. No Messi.
Messi. No Messi, really?
No Messi, Ronaldo.
Why? Ah, Ronaldo is your, okay. Okay, great. All right, see you guys.